En este momento vamos a continuar ya con la siguiente universidad. Si nos permiten unos minutos, tenemos a los señores de la Universidad de Manitoba, de Canadá.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, pleased to meet you. Welcome to our fair.
Good to see you. Yeah. We're being told that we need to be here 10 minutes earlier, right? Oh, Rihanna is here as well.
No,
Oh,
it's okay. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And let me introduce you in Spanish, please. Señores, les presentamos a los representantes de la Universidad de Manitoba, Eren Shi y Rhiannon Lear Blanchard, quienes serán nuestras expositoras en este momento. La dinámica será que nosotros estaremos tomando las preguntas de YouTube y se las entregaremos a nuestros expositores en los minutos finales. La exposición ahorita será en el idioma inglés y empezamos. Thank you, ladies, for accepting our invitation. You can go ahead with your presentation in full screen, please.
Thank you for having us here. Are we waiting for, I think we're waiting for Michelle from from Extended Education to join us here first.
If you can start.
Would you like us to start right away?
Yes, please, if possible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so thanks very much for having us for this session. I know our plan was to have the extended education go to provide a bit of context as to place, but we'll jump into our program here. I think actually, first off, we'll do a few introductions and then we'll allow Michelle to get ready for the presentation. So I'm Rhiannon Lear-Blatcher. I'm the Manager of Marketing and Communications at the Asper School of Business within the Stu Clark Graduate School at the University of Manitoba. Not only am I the Manager of Marketing there, I'm also an alumni of the Asper MBA program. So for our session today, we are going to speak about our MBA, our Master of Finance, and our Master of Supply Chain programs that we offer here at our graduate school.
I'm interested.
And maybe, so thank you very much for having us. It's wonderful to connect with you. And I'll maybe let Ellen, if you would like to introduce yourself here as well.
Sure. Thank you, everybody. My name is Ellen Shi. I am the recruiter officer from Asper School of Business, University of Manitoba. My main job is to have to recruit students from over the world for our MBA, MFin, and MSc program, like what Rihanna introduced. So I'm glad to see you guys here, and thank you for inviting us to talk about our programs in this session.
Okay, so we will keep going then. All right, and I think what we can do then after is provide a sense of context in place for the University of Manitoba after we provide this. So I'm going to quickly share. What I'll do is I'll share our screen and we'll go through our presentation about our graduate programs here.
As you prefer.
Thank you. And I think you should be able to see my screen now.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm just going to go in there and just quickly change the view so that it's a full
screen.
Full screen mode. There we are. Perfect. Okay. So thank you again for having us here at the session. We're really excited to be able to connect with students from Peru. So I'll move here. For our agenda today, we will quickly speak about our three main programs. So that we'd like to speak about our professional graduate programs at the Asper School of Business. We'll talk about the Master of Business Administration, or MBA, our Master of Finance program, our Master of Supply Chain Management, and then go through some of the application and tuition details. In this image here that you see, the skyline is actually a photo of the University of Manitoba, just to give you a sense of place. The tall building that with all the newer looking building are actually the dorms that are right next to the Drake building, which is where the Asper School of Business is. So in terms of students attending from different countries and living on campus here, we're quite close to the residences as well. So first off, starting with the Master of Business Administration, or our MBA program, Our program was established in 1968, so we have quite a long history. On average, we have approximately 150 students in the program at any one time. And the great part of our program is you can take it part-time or full-time. If you're joining us as an international student, you take it full-time based on visa requirements. But the nice part about it is you have that interaction with students who are also working full-time while taking the program. So you get a really good professional mix. Our MBA program was ranked as one of Canada's best top 10 MBA programs in Canada by Canadian Business News. And another note about our program, as noted for international students, you can complete it in as quickly as 12 months or up to 24 months as part of your visa. Some of the concentrations and themes, and one of the great part about our MBA program is you can select up to 2 concentrations and a range of themes depending on your area of interest. So we have a specialized concentration, which is the financial analyst stream. That for people that are focusing on their CFA and items like that, and then there are 4 functional concentration, which are finance, leadership and organizations, marketing, and supply chain. Often many of our students will select 2 of those. For myself, who graduated from the program last year, I majored in marketing and leadership, and the combination of the 2 really supports career development and growth. We also have themed concentrations based on the classes that we take. These include international and emerging markets, focus on sustainability, a very strong entrepreneurial program that we have here. And then some students elect to take general management. Some of the interdisciplinary concentrations, as you can see here, are healthcare, public enterprises, and some even choose to do an interdisciplinary program where you look at connecting with different industries or leaders here, and you can work on the projects there with that. It looks like I'm entering or I'm allowing some people in here, which is great. One of the big things that is unique to our program this year, which really is beneficial for international students within the program, is we now have a co-op option for our Master of Finance, our MBA, and our Master of Supply Chain programs. So this option here allows you to gain work experience in Canada. It's a 4-month term, it's a paid term, and it also earns 3 credits towards your degree. So it allows you to enhance your professional skills in Canada, in our location. Our Career Development Center supports the setup of those roles with those careers, and we have exclusive access to positions posted by Manitoba's top employers and also the opportunity to work with other employers across Canada. It comes towards after you've done about half of the MBA program, about 30 credit hours done, where you can go into a 4-month paid full-time work term. During that time, you won't be taking classes, you are just doing your co-op term. That's a big thing, and for everything, especially when we're looking at business, what is the return on investment for taking your MBA here at our school, both in terms of your time investment and your financial investment? We do, and this chart shows here, our Career Development Center does a survey every year where we survey the last graduating class right after, almost 3 to 6 months after graduation. And right away, what we see is a 46% salary increase on average for an Asper MBA student from starting the program and right after 3 to 6 months after graduation. This $85,000 is an average for all salaries. Some are higher, some are, some are significantly higher, but an average salary. And this, as I noted, is right after graduation. So there is a strong return on investment that you experience within the program. So that's components of the MBA program. And for all of this, if there are any questions after, we can provide them here, or we can provide them also by emails after. Ellen and I can connect. Our other program that we want to feature today is the Master of Finance program. This program is newer than the MBA program. It was established in 2017 here. On average, we have approximately 30 students at any one time in the program. And the unique thing about our program is it's CFA affiliated. The program covers approximately 85% of the CFA body of knowledge, which really helps students prepare to master the CFA exams. The program also is one of the shortest in Canada. It can be completed in 12 months, allowing you not only to gain a master's degree in finance, but also to be CFA prepared. Many of our students, and some right now, enter the program with CFA level 1, sometimes 2, and throughout the program, we see many of our students finishing off and working on their exams for for that. It's a very strong finance program. Actually, this year we had one of our highest intakes ever with students from all around the world within the program. There is also a Master of Finance co-op option, as noted for the MBA. It really allows students to apply their academic learning in a real world context. It's, as noted, a 4-month paid term, allows students to build their professional network to advance their career with access to our employers. The one key thing that's really important on the MFin side, when students enter the MFin program, they do not require work experience like they would for an MBA. For an MBA, you require 2 years of work experience, but for MFin and Master of Supply Chain, you do not. So the really great beneficial thing about this Master of Finance degree is it allows you, if you're doing the co-op, to gain that work experience, even if you don't have it already, so that you're taking the program, you're getting your master's degree, you're preparing for your CFA, and you're adding to your resume and making those connections here in Canada as well. One of the key advantages that makes our school and the Asper School of Business and the University of Manitoba stand out is we have one of the shortest program durations in Canada for a Master of Finance degree. As noted, it's 1 year or 3 terms. We are the only CFA-based Master of Finance program between Toronto and Vancouver here in Canada, and our program has the lowest average tuition in Canada, which allows your value and the strength of our program to go a little further, I think, as well. And I think when the team from executive education or from extended education speaks a little bit about the U of M and Winnipeg, you'll also see that the cost of living in Winnipeg is very strong or very low compared to some of the other places in Canada that you may be considering. Another here, in terms of looking at our employment results, the advantage with this program is that on average, over the past 2 years, students' salaries increased by about 33% after graduation within that 3 to 6 month time frame. So there is also a strong return on investment. Considering you graduate in 1 year, that's a good increase and return that you see right away. And now we move on to our third master's professional program that we'd like to mention. And this one's brand new. We just started it. Our very first cohort is currently started. They started in August. And it is a 2-year program if you take it full time. It's a total of 48 credit hours. 15 of them are prescribed courses, so the 4 credit hours. And this one also has a 4-month co-op or practicum component that is mandatory actually as part of this program. With MFin or MBA, it's optional, but for this program, it is part of your classes. As noted, like the other, it's built in, it comes towards the end of it, and it allows you to complete a role with a local domestic located supply chain or logistics company. The key thing that for all 3 programs, we really stand out with our Master of Supply Chain program. Based on Winnipeg and where we're located, we're known as the continental hub for transportation and logistics. So if you're interested in supply chain, this is the place to be. There are more than 4,300 businesses and 40,000 workers employed right here in logistics and transportation, and it's growing. We are home to Centerport Canada, which is a 20,000 acre inland port. And we have more than 1,000 for-hire trucking companies and 6 of Canada's largest trucking companies right here. We're also Canada's #1 airport for scheduled freighter flights, and we have rail access to North America's only Arctic seaport. So in terms of the career options in logistics and supply chain, there are many here, and we have a lot of support from that local community as well. So now that I've spoke a little bit about the benefits of each of the programs, I'll dive quickly into the application and tuition details. So for all 3 programs, for Master of Supply Chain and Master of Finance, the international application deadline is March 1st. There's only 1 intake for each of those programs. Both programs have 1 class that starts at the end of August each year. MBA is a little different. We have 2 intakes. We have a January start and an August start. And you see the application deadline is March 1st for the August start and July 1st for the January start. For all of you right now looking at this, the March 1st deadline would be something that we'd focus on if you're looking at starting right away. Admission requirements for the MBA, there's a 3-year bachelor's degree. So in some cases, there's a 4-year bachelor's degree required, but we will take a 3-year degree if that's what your bachelor's degree is based on from the school that you attended. A 3.0 GPA minimum. and a preferred GMAT of 550. We will accept 500 at the lowest, but our preferred is 550. There's also the option for a GRE equivalent, and our team does a calculation to determine that as well. And that's something that we would take a look at. We require for MBA 2 years of professional work experience. The key with this is it doesn't mean that those 2 years need to be consecutive 2 years. If you have worked in different places and then you've gone back to school, it's the addition of all that work experience that you have that would add towards this in terms of our calculation. Also, too, what's different for the MBA, and you'll see this for MFin and Master in Supply Chain, we actually prefer, we require your resume and then 2 professional letters of reference, ideally from employers that you've worked for. Our English language requirements is an IELTS 7.0 on the academic module with no band score less than 6 or a TOEFL of a 100. MBA tuition and fees for students, international students, it's approximately $55,000 for the entire time. You pay as you go. You don't pay all up at front. You pay per term, which allows you to spread it out a little bit. Books on average about $3,500. And then if you do, and this isn't listed here, if you do decide to take the co-op term or the co-op placement, is approximately $5,000 for the cost of all of the elements that go into that. There are many scholarships that we offer. There is a graduate and international student graduate scholarship. So if you enter the program with a GPA of 3.5 or higher on a 4.5 scale, you will automatically qualify for that $5,400, and it can be renewable for year 2 if you maintain a 3.5 GPA. There's also other entrance and in-course scholarships and bursaries that are available. We have a lot of great support for our graduate programs here. For MFin, there's some similarities here. It's the bachelor's degree of 3 years with a minimum of 3.5 GPA, a similar GMAT score, but the difference for the Master of Finance is we require a quantitative score at the 60th percentile or higher. As a note, though, if you've completed CFA level 1, you're exempt from the GMAT. So that is a definite bonus here. 2 letters of recommendation. In this case, they're not necessarily from your employers. They're more from your professors based on the fact that we don't require work experience. And then you can see here the English language scores, IELTS of a 6.5 with a speaking band of 6, and the TOEFL as well. You can see of 86 and a minimum score of 20 in each of those categories. So the requirement for TOEFL is a little bit less than for the MBA program. Tuition and fees are $3,800, or books of approximately $1,500, again with that co-op fee of $5,000. And then additional scholarships that are fairly similar as well to the MBA. So really great support here. For Master of Supply Chain, the requirements are quite similar to MFin, so I won't go through that again, but this presentation can be supplied to you afterwards. The tuition and fees for this is approximately $48,000 with that graduate and co-op practicum fee as part of that tuition. It's actually calculated in there of $5,000 with approximate books of $2,500. There are scholarships as well. Same as above, many bursaries available for you within the program. And that's it for us. I know that we want to ensure that the extended education team has an opportunity to speak as well. So I'll transfer over and we can share our information after this.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. And I will stop sharing here.
Our pleasure.
Hi everyone. Sorry for the delay, a little bit of technical issues on our end, but thanks Rhiannon and Ellen for jumping in and going
It's okay,
first.
we are live, so it happens.
We're gonna start sharing our screen here, so give me a second to do that. I was also a ASPR grad, Rhiannon, so it's great to see those pictures of the programs. Okay, so I'm going to backtrack a little bit and talk a little bit about why to come to Winnipeg in general and the University of Manitoba before I talk about specifics of the extended education programs available. So we'll start. Oh, there we go. I'm Michelle Rummel. I'm coordinator of student services in extended education. And with us here today in the chat is Amanda Chan. She's our enrollment coordinator for extended education. So if you have any questions, she can answer those in the chat for you today. So where is Winnipeg, Manitoba? If you've never heard of us, we're in Canada. I'll start with the territorial acknowledgement, which we do for most public speaking in Canada. So I'd like to say the University of Manitoba campuses are located on original lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories. We acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. So Winnipeg is located right in the center of North America. So we're very close, about 1 hour from the US border and midway between the East Coast and West Coast of Canada. I'm going to show you a little video that just highlights Manitoba and the beautiful scenery and experiences you can have here. Okay, so I'll get back to talking about the costs. Rihanna mentioned that Winnipeg, not only is it beautiful, you saw the 4 seasons there of Winnipeg and Manitoba. It's a really wonderful place to live, but it's also a very inexpensive place to live compared to other places in Canada and the United States. So just looking at the price comparisons to Toronto or Vancouver, which are probably 2 of the cities you're most familiar with in Canada, we are about, I'd say 50% to 25% cheaper in terms of the cost of living. So it's quite a bit less expensive to live and have a good quality of life here for international students. We've also been voted as one of the top 7 most intelligent communities in the world for 2021, in part due to our wonderful universities and colleges that we have here. And we do have a very good program called the Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program, which allows international students to stay in Winnipeg long-term after they graduate from a program here in the province. Okay, so now I'll talk a little bit more specifically about the campus. We have a very beautiful green campus. So we've got another video here to show you what campus life is like at University of Manitoba. 1 second. Let me advance the slide. There we go. There's just an overview, a snapshot. It's quite a large campus, very green. It's in a really quiet part of town. It's a beautiful place to study. So talking about student life, besides the academic programs, there's a lot of things to do on campus for students. There's over 200 student clubs, organizations, volunteer and leadership programs. So lots of things to get involved with on campus. And also the Active Living Center, there's a lot of great resources to exercise and stay healthy or watch other campus sports. So it's a really great campus life for our students. And there's also a lot of supports for students. So within the Faculty of Extended Education, your program coordinators will help you achieve student success. So they'll work with you one-on-one. We're a small program, so you'll get a lot of hands-on help, including workshops on study techniques, academic success, resume writing, career options, and more. So they really help you be successful in your programs. And then on campus, there's counseling supports and spiritual services available for our international students. All right, so some specifics about our programs within extended education. We have 3 programs that are available for international students. The first, sorry, I'm blocking my screen here, is Applied Business Management. So this program, you would launch a career in the Canadian workplace by developing essential management skills and embark on your international employment path. So this, like all of the programs with extended education, is a 1-year intensive program. So you would have 10 months of full-time intensive studies, followed by 2 months of industry experience. So some work experience to help you find a job after you graduate within the Canadian business context. You would end up with 2 credentials, a certificate in business management and administration, and a letter of accomplishment in career preparation. And some careers you would consider if you graduated from this program would be a business advisor, management consultant, sales executive, retail management manager, business development coordinator, operations coordinator, marketing coordinator, or account manager. So a lot of different career options after graduation. The second program is Applied Business Analysis. And this is where you would learn to identify business needs and facilitate effective solutions using tools and techniques of business analysis. So again, it's a 10-month intensive study and 2-month industry experience, so a full 1-year program. And you'd end up with the 2 credentials of certificate in business analysis and a letter of accomplishment in career preparation. A lot of different career opportunities after graduation from this program, including business analyst, project coordinator, marketing analyst, sales analyst, operations analyst, a lot of different analyst jobs, also business manager, technical writer. And finally, the third program available for international students within extended education is the Applied Human Resource Management Program. And in this program, you would combine comprehensive human resource management training with targeted language support and on-the-job experience. Once again, the same 1-year program with 10 months of intensive studies and 2-month industry experience. And the credentials would be a certificate in human resource management and a letter of accomplishment in career preparation. So potential careers for the human resource program would be human resource generalist or manager, benefits or payroll administrator, training and development officer, talent management specialist, or labor relations specialist. So how to apply for the programs here with us. So when applications open, you would need to, as quickly as possible, submit your applications and required documents. I would recommend preparing in advance all the documents that you need and submitting everything at once as a complete application. This will help expedite processing of your application. So if it's a complete application, then within 2 to 6 weeks, you would expect to receive an offer of admission if you meet the entrance requirements. You would then have a deadline to accept the offer and pay your seat deposit. And then shortly after that, you would receive your letter of admission. So it's a fairly streamlined process as long as you're submitting a complete application and meet all the admissions requirements. So the next program opening will be for September 2022. And we're expecting that program to open probably January. We don't have a specific date yet, so just get prepared if you are interested. And once that does open, be prepared to submit your application and your documents as soon as possible. So review the admissions requirements on the website and make sure you have all your documents. So I'll talk about that in another slide here. The requirements would be an undergraduate degree, and a minimum of 1 year demonstrated work experience. And then the language proficiency requirements for all the programs within extended education are IELTS academic 6.5 or equivalent, with a no less than a 6.0 in each band score. We usually have intakes January, May, and September, so the next one that will be available will be September. If you don't meet the English proficiency requirement for admission, however, don't worry. You can apply for conditional admission and attend level 5 within our English language center at the University of Manitoba, but you'd want to indicate that on your application that you're applying for conditional admission to the English program and the extended education programs at the same time, and then your application would be evaluated appropriately for that situation. There is waiver option available, so if you meet some other requirements, depending on where you went to school for high school, you may or may not be exempt from providing proof of English proficiency. So there is a list on the website that tells you which countries are exempt. Tuition and fees. So all of the programs are the same tuition within extended education. The tuition for the full year is $14,555 Canadian, including the application fee. Estimated books and supply costs would be about $1,000. And health insurance is currently at $1,032 for a full year. And that's a required fee for international students. These are subject to change. Every year they adjust slightly, but that is the current tuition and anticipated fees for the 2021-22 school year. Okay, and make sure you follow us on our social media platforms. And thank you very much. If you have any questions for either of our programs, we'd be happy to answer them now if there's time. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you so much, ladies. Very complete exposition. We have only 3 questions because all of the other questions were answered during your expositions. So I write to them. Do you have any master's degree related to building information modeling?
I'm not sure. I think that might be part of the Faculty of Architecture. I'm guessing in terms of that could be something that we take a look at and potentially bring forward to that faculty with graduate studies.
Maybe. Well, the other question is, does the Master of Fine Arts offer a specialization in communications or graphic design?
I'm not sure. Michelle, are you aware of that?
I think there's from the UFM website, you could go to the Faculty of Arts, and they offer a variety of master program there, and you could look into in different programs and contact the Faculty of Arts, their graduate school, so they will give you more information same as the BIM, the Building Information Modeling. We're not sure because we're from Executive Education Center, and we're from the business school. But like University of Manitoba offers plenty of graduate programs, and you could look into all the details from the Faculty of Graduate Study website.
Great. Final question. Do you have any master's degree on civil engineering?
I think
that is, yeah, we do have that.
yes. I'm actually looking right now I'm going to pull up add a link right now for our Faculty of Graduate Studies.
Yes, please.
And that would be something that all of that would be there. So I'm just
environmental law master, any environmental law master.
Okay, so I'm going to there's an academic guide actually that provides a whole bunch of components of that, and I'll stick it right in the chat here. And if we go, actually, there is a really great, we have 49 doctoral programs and 95 master's programs. So there's quite a few. If we look here and I'm just looking at the last question that we had about civil engineering, and it looks like, yes, we do. We have a civil engineering program right here. We have a PhD in it as well.
Yeah.
And I will stick that right in the chat too. So the great thing about our school is we're quite a large school with many different options. You today in this presentation received just a glimpse of extended education and all the programs that they offer, and then ours as well. So there's a lot of different opportunities depending on what your area of interest is at the University of Manitoba.
Great. I think there are no more questions from the audience. Once again, thank you, ladies, so much for your kind participation on this fair, and we really look forward to having you next year.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
having
much.
us.
Bye.
Thank you. We really
Have a
appreciate
great
it.
day.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.